you like to project pan like I do, chances are you've done a pan that palette at some point in your panning career, or maybe you've even thought about the idea of doing that. You might even be a little bit worried about whether or not that kind of project would be right for you. Will you be able to stay motivated, and how do you stay motivated in trying to pan a palette all year long? Well, today I'm going to update you on how my modified Pan That palette is working for me and the progress that I have been making over the course of the year. And I hope that this will be able to inspire you to be able to break free of the shackles that project panning can sometimes put on its participants. If you like project panning and beauty content, I'd love for you to go ahead and consider subscribing to my channel and click the like button if you have tried Pan That palette or you are thinking about it. I'm going to leave the video of why I decided to call this a modified Pan That palette for my ABH Norvina. In short, this year project panning for me is all about the freedom to pan, making the projects work for me so that I can stay motivated and I find inspiration in the products that I use. I have completed Pan That palette before using an eyeshadow palette and using a face palette, and it does get very boring several months into the year. It can be overwhelming. It can be discouraging when you're not reaching your goals. And I didn't want to feel that way, but I did want to give this palette some love. So I modified the rules. And the rules were I was going to pick a focused shade for each month and use that shade a certain number of times, or just a set goal that I had for it. And all in all, I've been able to reach my usage goals on each of the shades that I have used so far, and even hit pan on a lot of them in the progress of doing that. This was certainly not a brand new palette to me, so she had a lot of love already in her, but I found the inspiration and the motivation to keep going because it wasn't shackled by hitting pan. So far in this palette, I have 4 pans. In the shimmer row, I have a pan in Summer, a pan in Dazzling, and a pan in Drama. I have also hit pan in Base, and I would like to use Base Up as my lid setting shade, but I don't know that I will get there. I have so many other shades in this palette that are so close to hitting pan, and so what I have done throughout the months is if I didn't reach my goal, my usage goal on a shade, like for instance Passion, I carried it over to the next month and added an additional focus shade and usage goals on that. So in the month of July, I was trying to hit usage goal left over from Passion and Eccentric, and I had a usage goal of 15 for this one, and I was able to hit that mark, and I had a usage goal of 15 for Eccentric, and I did not hit that mark. I did 11 times usage for this, so I didn't quite make the 15. And this is where I'm going to kind of tweak my expectations for myself. I'm going to pause using Eccentric right now. Eccentric is such a really great fall shade, very mustardy yellow color, and I think it's going to be really motivating to use that in September and October and November. So I'm going to pause using that, and I'm not going to carry over those 4 uses into August. I did choose a different focus shade for August, and I think that's going to help freshen things up a little bit for me to not have this baggage carrying over the next month. I am now going to be focusing on Love, which is this pretty pink matte color, like a very nice dusty pink color. And I think I'm going to be able to hit pan on that. So another way that I'm going to stay motivated is to set a physical goal for it instead of a usage goal. I'm very confident that I will be able to hit pan within the remainder of the month of August. I am filming this very late because I was on a work trip last week and I have not had time to film my Pan That palette update. So I'm hoping that I will be able to hit pan on Love, but I'm surely going to give it a try, and I'll track my uses to see how long it takes me to get there from this point on. I don't really like to track uses too much. I find that overwhelming too. And so that's another way that I've kept this pretty fresh for myself. I will keep track of my uses with some painter's tape on the front, and I try to keep it a realistic goal that I would be able to meet according to that shade. So I just hope that today, after this really quick update for my modified Pan That palette, that I can encourage you to use project panning to your advantage. This is your project. You set the rules. Don't listen to what other people do. Don't listen to what I do unless it really works for you and it speaks to you and it motivates you. You may be somebody that's really like dead set on hitting pans. Great, go do that. If that keeps you motivated, then do that. But if you want to have a little bit of freedom, then you create that freedom within the guidelines and the rules of your project pan. And as long as you're reaching your goals and staying motivated while you're doing it, then that is the right project for you. Please share this video with somebody that you know that might need a little bit of project panning motivation and a little bit of life and breath breathed into their project panning life. And I will see you in another video. Bye.